Welcome to the latest video of the XL interface for Micro Focus PPM, or XLI for short. As the XLI footprint rapidly expands, great enhancement requests come in from all around the world, which we usually happily accept and address quite quickly. Today I'm going to cover some of the main ones we recently added. Here we have a listing of them on this page. But first I'm going to give you a quick reminder about what the XLI is capable of. So the XLI is an alternative UI to the normal browser-based interface of PPM. As its namesake suggests, it basically uses Excel. So to the end user, it's simply a macro-enabled spreadsheet they can simply download and begin using. Since it's Excel, you can use all its native UI capabilities such as copy, paste, drag and drop, and formulas. The XLI retrieves, creates, and updates individual or multiple PPM objects at once. It also allows you to create Excel-based reports that are accessible through the XLI environment. It also allows you to integrate PPM with external data sources and apply custom business logic as well. So for time normalization, custom records, etc. And the great thing about the XLI is that it retains the data integrity of PPM and its security model. So everything you can or cannot do in PPM applies to the XLI as well. And the tagline for the product is the flexibility of Excel with the governance of PPM. Now let's go ahead and log into the XLI. So first thing I need to do is actually authenticate with my PPM credentials. So everything pre-filled already. And as you can see, it's simply an Excel spreadsheet with macros enabled. If your PPM implementation is using single sign-on, the XLI will inherit those settings as well, and this screen would be bypassed. So I'll go ahead and log in. So those of you who are familiar with the XLI will notice the different tabs that correspond to the different modules or features of PPM. What's new here is that we've added the ability to configure a custom landing page to the XLI. So here's an example. So this is one that was created by a large financial institution in Europe. So the landing page allows me to do two things. It allows me to control the worksheets a user sees based on their PPM usage patterns. So if I don't want to see work plans, if I click on Manage My Work Project Plans, you might have noticed that the Work Plan tab disappeared. When I click it back, the Work Plan tab appears again. Secondly, the landing page also allows me to link to different worksheets. So I'm going to click on Update My Workforce Forecast. This has to do with resource management. So let's go ahead and take me to the staffing profile sheet. Now let's talk about the enhancements we made in the staffing profile area. So the first one has to do around search. So in order to demo that, I'm going to look for a staffing profile for projects for the year 2022, have the increments in months, and display the information in FTEs. So when I look at these two different projects here, I select these two different staffing profiles. You'll notice down below the staffing profile positions associated with them equals about 74 different positions. So what we've done here is actually add this enhancement called exclude positions with no demand in chosen years. So if I have positions and they have no information for the year 2022, I don't necessarily want to see that and then download it into the spreadsheet. So now when I do the search again, I have much less results. I have 39 positions as opposed to the 74 I saw before. So I'm going to go ahead and select those positions and download them into the XLI. You know, it's down here below. It gives you a status of that download process. So now that I've downloaded information, now I can make my updates as fast as my fingers can fly. So I'll do one FTE. And since it's Excel, I can use features like drag and copy. So our second enhancement is around staffing profiles, reordering of columns. So optionally, the XLI now allows me to reorder staffing profile columns and put the specific resource requested right after the staffing profile name. So you can see that here, staffing profile name and specific resource requested. So why do we do that? So the advantage here is that once I populate the position, and then I actually make the specific resource requested, fill that field, and several other columns get automatically populated as well. So that increases your time savings. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. So I was able to ask for a burn-in, and all supplemental information was filled out automatically. Next, we'll jump over to the Report tab. So for those who are not familiar with this module, the XLI reporting module allows users to build their own reports that pull any data out of PPM and display it based on the settings, and in most cases without any coding required. It also allows users to share reports with other users without having to go through a deployment process. And in this new release, we've added the ability to add subtotals to chosen fields of the report, which is very valuable for reports that contain financials or resource information. So I'm going to go ahead and run this financials report and show the subtotals feature. I'm going to run it for projects. I'm going to run it for any projects for 2022 for starting from January to December. I'll run the report. Here you can see the subtotals I just mentioned for each month, January, February, March, and so on. Now I'll jump over to the request tab, and we'll talk about the new purge feature. So normally in the XLI, it only displays active objects that are updatable by the active user. However, with this new purge option enabled, which is usually an admin type activity, the XLI can retrieve and give the user the ability to purge closed items as well. So the first thing to do is that I'm logged in as an admin. I can actually enable the purge settings. I'm going to go ahead and do that by going to the user settings tab and enabling the proper parameter. I'll jump back to my request tab. Now I'm going to look up close projects. So here are some filters we can use to search for our data to purge. We can actually add up to 10 custom filters. So right now we have 4. So when I click on search now, I'm going to select all these currently closed projects to download them into the XLI. I'll just click on one to drill down into it and to see what it looks like in PPM. So as you can see, this project is currently closed. Now what I need to do to actually purge them is mark them all for deletion. And one really nice thing about this feature is that when I deleted, items such as these projects, it also removed everything associated with them, including attachments, staffing profiles, work plans, financial summaries. Now let's jump over to the financial summaries tab. Now we'll talk about our new smart paste feature. So in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to bring in financial summaries for projects for the year 2022. We'll look at the costs and we'll look at both actuals and planned information. So when we download the information into Excel, you'll notice that the plan or actual are contiguous. These are contiguous columns, J and K, displaying information, so on and so on for each month. So there's a limitation here that we try to paste something from Excel that's not contiguous, for example, a bunch of planned information, it will not function properly. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So now if I decide to show planned information only, the actual columns are still hidden but not being displayed. And when I actually try to paste in a bunch of planned information, it would not function correctly because the information is contiguous. It would try to paste some information into the actual cell as well. So in order to fix that limitation, we've created a new smart paste feature. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. So I'm going to take this information here, go back into the XLI, and instead of pasting as normal, I'll use the new smart paste feature. And now when I look at the columns that are hidden, which represent actual, you'll see that none of the numbers were modified. Now let's wrap up. These new features and others are adding to an already efficient UI. For that reason, the XLI has been widely adopted by many of the top PPM customers in Europe, America, and Australia. So whether you're an existing customer or not, working for a small or large organization, please feel free to contact us at info@ppmetrics.com or visit us at our website, www.ppmetrics.com, for more information or to schedule a full demo. Thank you.